Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course on competitive exams held by VIRAT Hindustan Sangham in association with Manifest IAS. So this program is convened by Sri Ravishankar sir, State Education Convener for VIRAT Hindustan Sangham Karnataka branch and also the President of Good Neighbors India NGO. So I am the Chief Mentor of the program. I have been mentoring civil services aspirants for past 5 years. This program is inspired by Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY and it was inaugurated on 28 January and you can watch this program online on the YouTube channel of VIRAT Hindustan Sangham as well as on the YouTube channel of UDAYA News Karnataka. Okay. So we are done with polity and history and we are negotiating the economy now. Okay. So what to expect out of these classes? As I have been telling, veterans can use this as a revision course, freshers, to get a clarity of all the concepts. So you can join our Telegram channel, VHS Education Forum. We have provided the link here and also the QR code. So you can just type VHS Education Forum on the Telegram channel and join our channel for all your doubts clearing, free mentoring, guidance and every sorts of help with respect to competitive exams. Okay. So today is the day 2 of economy and we'll talk about planning, industrial policy, $5 trillion and all these concepts. Fine. Let us begin the class. So before beginning the class, I would like to mention the source again. If you are studying Indian economy and even your state economy with respect to in English language, the best and concise source is book Indian Economy by Srirangam. Indian Economy by Srirangam is the best book. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about economic growth and its measures. How economic growth is measured. Okay. So we saw about various things, GDP, GNP, NNP, NDP and all those things, GDP deflator and everything. How economic, who measures it, on what criteria, CSO, its annual, monthly, quarterly and all this, advanced estimate, quick estimate and provisional estimate and also the final estimate. So today we look at the new institutional framework for national statistics which was given in 2019. In 2019, there was a new institutional framework. What is meant by new institutional framework means? So earlier there were 2 organizations, both under Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. There were 2 organizations. One is CSO and another is NSSO. So CSO, Central Statistics Office, it used to deal with giving growth numbers, GDP, inflation, industrial input, industrial output and all those things. IIP with respect to Industrial Production Index, right? So all these things were given by CSO. And NSSO, National Sample Survey Organization. So this organization used to conduct surveys. Survey about, it is like just like conducting census. It used to conduct survey about health, education, societal indicators, maternal mortality, infant mortality, poverty, employment. All the surveys used to be carried out by this organization, National Sample Survey Organization. So in 2019, there happened a change. What is that change? Government gave a new institutional framework. Institution, you know what is institution. So whatever the organization was there, this was revamped. Idin change ಮಾಡಿ ಹೊಸ institution ಆಗಿ convert ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. Under that, there is both of these were merged. CSO and NSSO, both these organizations which gives the data were merged and converted into one office called National Statistics Office. Converted into one single office called National Statistics Office, NSO. All these works are today done by this office, NSO. And who heads it? Who is the head of NSO? Andre, it is the Chief Statistician of India, CSI. NSO is headed by Chief Statistician of India, right? So it is a very probable question. Who heads the NSO, right? So this organization is taking care of all the numbers today, whether it is GDP, industrial production, everything, inflation, everything is now taken care by NSO. So next we have National Statistical Commission. It was brought about in 2006. National Statistical Commission was brought about in 2006. So what is this National Statistical Commission? So actually it consists of 5 members, 1 chairman plus 4 members. National Statistics Commission. So it is a overall authority with respect to statistics. So it monitors everything, how statistics is being collected, how statistics is being organized, how statistics is being published. Statistics related andre numbers, statistics andre numbers, output, GDP, all those things. All these things, how adanna hege collect ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, and quality, is the data is of quality, is there any issues in the data, how, on what formula the statistics are classified, everything, overall monitoring is done by National Statistics Commission, established in 2006, right? Okay. Next we have new GDP series 2015. So after Narendra Modi ji government came, it started the new GDP series. New GDP series. So earlier there was GDP in a different way, right? So what is new about the new GDP series? Andre, one base year was changed. Earlier the base year, I told you about already the base year. What is base year? So base year was changed from 2004 to 2004, 2005 to 2011, 2012. So that is the first change. That is the first change in the new GDP series. And also it included MCA 21 indices. MCA 21 andreno, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs 21 and the index ide, mapana ide, that includes all the industries, all the corporate things are included under MCA 21. So as I told yesterday, the products that were there in 2000 or 1990 may not be available today. So earlier there was landlines, now we have telephones, mobile phones, right? Now we have artificial intelligence, now we have 4G, 5G technology. All of these things are not available during earlier times. So why new, even solar energy was not prominent during earlier times. Now solar vehicles, electric vehicles, so many new things are there. Why new GDP series andre, if we calculate the GDP on old series, the new products won't be included. Economically ಹೊಸ products ಏನೇನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ, changes ಏನೇನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ include ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ if we follow the old series. So that is why periodically new GDP series na we publish, so as to give a correct picture. New products, whatever I told, the new products are included under the new GDP series 2015, and it includes Ministry of Corporate Affairs 21 index. It includes various industries, various indices, how the corporate world is functioning. All of these data is included in the new GDP series, right? Okay. With respect to GDP numbers, so yesterday I told you the real GDP of India is 140 lakh crores. 140 lakh crores real GDP. Nominal GDP, that is with inflation, the GDP which includes the inflation, the nominal GDP is 190 lakh crores. 190 lakh crores. Right? So it shows that, it shows what? There is 50 lakh crore worth of inflation, or real GDP, real numbers without inflation is 140 lakh crores. With inflation, that is nominal GDP, is 190 lakh crores. This shows the impact of inflation, how the prices are rising. Okay. So next we have GDP back series. GDP back series. So GDP back series, it is nothing but the changing of base year. The changing of base year. So earlier the base year I told it was 2004, 2005. Now we have changed the base year to 2011, 2012. That is what is meant by GDP back series. Right? So earlier we used to calculate from on the basis of earlier base year. So that was back series. Now we have new series, new GDP series. Right? Splicing method. Splicing method andre eno? Splicing method is already I have taught you. It is nothing but dropping old products. Dropping old products. Landlines, telegram is not used today. Right? So whatever is getting old or non-usable, that we will drop in splicing method. The products which we are not using anymore, that we have, that are outdated, all those products are dropped. Right? For example, your landline, which is no more being used in a major way. Right? All those things will be dropped. Even telegrams got telegram machines, all of those things. And earlier there used to be pager. Pager used to be there. That we have dropped. So all those things we will drop, and as well as at the same time we will add new things. We will add new things. Artificial intelligence. So many new things which are coming, we are adding under splicing method. So this is all about the new institutional framework of GDP. Okay. So along with this, there is one more concept called System of National Accounting 2008. So it is given by UN Statistical Commission, United Nations Statistical Commission. So what is the System of National Accounts 2008? So earlier every country used to measure their GDP in their own way. There was no uniformity. Uniformity ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. GDP ನ ಒಬ್ರು ಒಂಥರ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, another country used to show it in a different way. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ to bring uniformity, how GDP is calculated, how growth is calculated, how economic potential is calculated, how inflation is calculated, economic related indicators ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ we have brought in System of National, the UNSC, UN Statistical Commission in 2008 has brought about a System of National Accounts. System of National Accounts. So after this has come, countries are being forced to adhere to the standard. Standard is being given by UN Statistical Commission, and that standard all the countries have to follow. Right? Okay. So Indian economy sectors and their components. So what are the sectors? We have primary, secondary and tertiary. Components, we have in the primary we have agriculture, fisheries, forestry, minerals, mining, all those things. All those things form the primary sector. So those are the components. Next, secondary sector, we have manufacturing industry, we have construction industry, and we have electricity production, coal production, petroleum production, right? All those things, I mean energy produced from coal. Just coal extraction falls under primary industry. Bari coal na ನಾವು ಅಗದ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ that is primary industry because we are taking out the raw materials. If we take that raw material and convert it into something else, then that falls under secondary industry, right? We have electricity production, manufacturing, construction, all those things which falls under secondary sector, right? Tertiary sector, all your trade, all your service sector, BPOs, KPOs, business processing outsourcing companies, IT companies, your hotels, tourism, trade, hospitals, education, everything, all services, transport sector, everything falls under tertiary sector. So this is a structural composition I have discussed already. What is the contribution of primary sector? It is around 18%, secondary sector 27%, and tertiary sector 54%. This is the structural composition of economy. How much, what category of economy composes how much in the economy? This is the structural composition. Next, we have structural changes in the economy. So, structural change. What do you mean by structural change, Andre? So, it is as simple as this. Formal and informal. Structural change means what? So, economy. Earlier, what used to happen? There used to be barter system. Barter system. Andre, ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾತ್ರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ money, if some places money is not used, you give 1 kg rice, I'll give you 1.5 kg wheat, right? No money is involved. You give me 1 cow, I'll give you 3 sheep, 3 or 4 sheep. Exchange of products, that is called barter system. But is the barter system used prominently today? No. Likewise, there are many changes in the economy. Many changes in the economy. So even during the 18th century, there was no prominent service sector. Service sector was not there during 18th, 17th century. But today, 20th, 21st century, we have what? Service sector, that is IT sector. IT sector is there, BPOs, KPOs, all those sectors. Your tourism sector. So there is a structural change, right? Earlier, the emphasis, economy dependent on agriculture. Agriculture may dependent agite economy. Now it is dependent on service sector. So there is a change in the economy, that is structural change. Along with that, we have change from informality to formality. Around 10% of Indian economy is formal. Formal economy andre enu? What do you mean by formal economy andre? Those companies which are registered with the government, those which have license, are called formal economy, right? That constitutes 10% out of 100 industries idre, just 10% is formal, which is registered, and that which is licensed. That is formal economy. Informal economy, your domestic workers, ಮನೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರು, care economy, right? Construction workers, those who are not registered, and small scale industry. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಇದು ಊದ್ಬತ್ತಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಲಿ, ಊದ್ಗಡ್ಡಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇನ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್, ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಲಿ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. So all these things fall under informal economy, right? So informal economy ke one more criterion is there. If an establishment employs 10 or more employees plus electricity is used in the production, then it is formal economy and it should be registered as well. 20 or more employees, even without electricity, will become formal category. But that should be registered. 20 ginta jasti idre, we even electricity irli bidli, then it will become formal economy. 10 jana idre, electricity is used, then it will become for 10 employees, formal economy. So formal economy registered under what acts? We have Industry Act. Industry Act is there, and we have Mining Act is there, Factories Act is there, right? And also your MSME registration is there. MSME registration portals are there. Spice industry registration, Udyam Aadhar anta ide. So all these things take you towards formality. Even for example, if you pay taxes, you are considered formal. Along with that, if you own a bank account and transact all your money through bank account, that is also called formal. So this is about formality. So economy is moving from informal to formal economy, right? So also economy is growing. Economy is growing, right? So growth itself, growth means what? So when an economy is growing, it shows a change. When economy grows, there should be change, right? There should be obviously a change when economy grows. So growth also shows, growth in an economy also shows a structural change in the economy. Okay. Next, I will talk about growth and development alternative measures. So till now, we spoke about GDP as the measure. GDP as the growth measure. But I told GDP alone is not sufficient. GDP has lot of drawbacks. GDP has lot of drawbacks. So when the GDP has lot of drawbacks, we need to look at other things. How do we measure economy in a better way? So GDP, one of the drawbacks enandre crimes. Suppose there is high crime in the society, Palle, Sullige, all those things. Avaga government will invest more in law and order, police machinery. So that will boost the economy, alva. That will boost the economy. When there is crime, government will invest on guns, government will invest on police, more salary. So when there is more investment, that will boost the economy, right? So when economy is boosted, GDP increases. When GDP increases, but GDP is increasing. So, but does that mean the society is peaceful? No, because GDP got increased because of crime. So GDP is not a good measure. Even for that matter, oil extraction, crude oil. So if you extract more and more crude oil, that will lead to increase in GDP. Increase in GDP, right? More vehicles will be driven. So increase in GDP. But does that mean extraction of oil is good? No, it will harm the environment, right? Similarly, guns. More sale of guns will boost the economy. But that shows there is crime in the society. There is no safety in the society. Even for that matter, commercial agriculture. If you produce more and more commercial goods, commercial agriculture. What is commercial agriculture? Silk, sugarcane, cotton, all those things. So if you manufacture more of those products, but GDP will increase. But on the other hand, it will impact the groundwater is more extracted, more usage of water in commercial agriculture, right? Monocropping, onದೇ ರೀತಿ crop ನ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ commercial ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Sugar cane andre only sugar cane will be harvested every year. So what happens? The fertility of the soil will go down. So even though GDP increases, it is harmful for the soil, agriculture. So this is also, so that is the drawback of GDP. So we have Human Development Index. Human Development Index, it was given in 1990. Who gives this? So this index was given by Amartya Sen, Indian economist, and Mehboob-ul Haq. Mehboob-ul Haq, Pakistani economist. The names are important. The names are important. So the index is given by Mehboob-ul Haq and Amartya Sen in 1990. So who publishes this index? So this index is published by UN Development Program. United Nations Development Program publishes the Human Development Index. Okay. So on what basis does the Human Development Index measured? Human Development Index is measured on three indices. So what are the three indices? First, life expectancy at birth. So manushya huttudaga, when a person is born, what is his expectancy? Till how many years he can expect to live? Huttudaga ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಅವನು ಬದುಕ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅವನು ನಂಬ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So during the time of independence, the life expectancy was just 28 years. If a person is born in 1900, he would, on an average, he would be dead by 1928. Diseases, wars, famines, so many other things. But today, the life expectancy has increased up to 70 years. 70 years is the life expectancy. Life expectancy is at birth. So, this shows good nutrition. There should be good nutrition should be there, good health care should be there. These two things, based on these two things, life expectancy can be decided. Good nutrition, good health care. Gross enrollment and adult literacy. This shows the knowledge part. This shows the health part. This shows the knowledge part. Knowledge alli enrollment, gross enrollment andre school ge ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಸೇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. How many children are getting into schools? That is gross enrollment. And adult literacy. Adult literacy andre how many percentage of adults above 18 years are literate. Literate means those who can read and write. Okay. So how many percent of Indians? So today it is how much? Average literacy in India is 75%. 75%. Average literacy, 84% for males and some 69 or 70% for females. But average is 75%. Adult literacy. Okay. Next, this measures the knowledge function. What does this measure? This measures the economic part, GDP per capita. Obruge GDP divided by the population is GDP per capita. So this shows the economic part. This shows the standard of living. If GDP per capita is high, standard of living is high. Right? So based on these three things, idu ಮೂರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ then there is good human development. If your knowledge is good, if your health is good, your economy is good, then there is human development, proper human development. This is the concept. So there is a score between 0 to 1. 0 to 1 is the score. So India falls under medium category. Medium category. There are three categories: low, medium and high. Low, medium and high. So medium category, India falls under 0.624 is the score. India's score is 0.624 in Human Development Index, right? Okay. We have Genuine Progress Index, USA. Genuine progress, not just economic progress, not just economic progress. Actually, is there any growth? Is there any progress in our life? Are we really progressing in terms of health, education, wealth, right? Standard of living, leisure, all those things, are we really progressing? That is measured by Genuine Progress Index. It was given by USA economists. One think tank is there. Not exactly USA government. There is a think tank. Think tank andre just like our Niti Aayog, some organization in USA gives the Genuine Progress Index. It is based on health, education, wealth, all those things. Next we have Social Progress Index. Social Progress Index. So Social Progress Index, ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕವಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಮುಂದುವರೆದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. So that is given by Social Progress Imperative. Social Progress Imperative ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ in Europe that gives the Social Progress Index. So it shows human needs. It is measured on 3 indicators. 3 indicators. One is human needs. ಬೇಡಿಕೆಗಳು ಏನು? Food, shelter and clothing. Food, shelter and clothing, employment, all of these are comes under human needs. Next, well-being. Well-being andre good health, happiness, right? No crime, psychological peace. All these things come under well-being. Next, opportunity, economic opportunity, employment opportunity. All these things come under the opportunity part. Idu ಮೂರು ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ then there is good social progress index. The score, the rank in social progress index is high. If these 3 things are low, then social progress index is low. Clear? Okay. So next we have gross national happiness. Which country measures gross national happiness? Measured by Bhutan. Bhutan measures gross national happiness. So it is given by Bhutan King Jigme Singye Wangchuk. It is given by Bhutan King Jigme Singye Wangchuk. He gives this gross national happiness. So GDP li there are lot of limitations. So we will follow gross national happiness. So what is this gross national happiness? It is based on socio-economic development. First criteria, socio-economic development. ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಆರ್ಥಿಕ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ. First criterion. Not only social and economic but also cultural values. ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳು. If we follow that, then we are happy. ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳು means what? Respecting the elders, protecting environment, seeing God in environment, using water in a limited way, treating all animals good. So all of these things comes under cultural values. If we follow that, we are happy anta ivaru heltare. Next we have environment. If we protect the environment, if the environment is good, then we are happy. There is proper protection of environment, then we are happy. Not only that, good governance. What is good governance? When is Good Governance Day celebrated? December 25th, on the birthday of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So good governance means when there is no corruption, when there is zero corruption, when the services, government services are given effectively, There is no time delay. There is quality service. If you travel by KSRTC, there is cleanliness in the bus. The bus arrives on time. Drivers and conductors talk to the passengers in a good way. Government services. When that happens, that we can call good governance in the transport sector. In the revenue department, if the caste certificates are issued on time, right? If there is grievance redressal, if there is any problem you face, your problems are easily solved. And there is digital governance. Digital governance, you need not go to the office, you can just submit the application online. All these things fall under the good governance. So good governance also contributes to gross national happiness anta Bhutan says, right? Next, we have happiness index. So this report is published called World Happiness Report. World Happiness Report is published, is starting from 2012. 2012 in the we are publishing, I mean the world is publishing World Happiness Report. So this is published by Sustainable Development Solutions Network. Very, very important. Who publishes? They ask you what is the index and who publishes it. So this World Happiness Report is published by Sustainable Development Solutions Network, SDSN. So it publishes the happiness index. So on this index, all the European countries are on the higher level. Top ranks are taken by European countries. First rank is Finland. Where is Finland? Northern Europe, right? Northern Europe, Nordic country. Finland is called a Nordic country, right? Okay, also called a Scandinavian country. So there are Scandinavia. Scandinavia is a peninsula. I am going to talk about peninsula when we handle geography, right? Okay. So Finland. Okay. So what is happiness index depends on when you have good income, you are happy, right? So if you get 1 lakh salary, obviously you will be happy. Income, it is based on income. It is based on life expectancy. Would you be happy if you are told that you will die by the age 35? No. If the life expectancy is 100 years, then you would obviously be happy, right? Next, social support. Social support, for example, in the old age, if the old age people are thrown on the roads or old age home, right? If there is no support, there is no happiness. But government takes care of them. Government provides benefits to them. Vaya Vandana Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana, Indira Gandhi National Old Age Scheme, right? And Support and Maintenance to Older Persons Act 2007. Under all these things, social support is given to elder people. Only elder people? No. Physically disabled people, for them also we are giving social support. Transgender people, we are giving social support. SC/ST population, we are providing social support. If that is there, then there is happiness. Along with that, freedom, if there is freedom. So if you have freedom of speech, if you can travel wherever you want within the country, freedom of speech, you can practice any occupation you want. Ene kelsa madbodu, whatever you want. So if there is freedom, then you are happy. And if there is trust, suppose you give 100 rupees to some person, if he doesn't return, would you be happy? No. So, but if there is trust in the society, then there is happiness. Along with that, if there is generosity andre, those who are willing, those who have money, they give money to the poor people, generous, philanthropy, dana dharma. So then there is happiness in the society. And this index says. Along with that, we have OECD Better Life Index. What is OECD? Organization for Economic and Cultural Development. So it is a organization of developed countries. Developed countries, it is majorly European countries, majorly. But non-European countries kuda ide, but majorly European countries. OECD, all exams favorite. What is OECD? You should know. So adradu Better Life Index, GDP. GDP ke counter, they are saying we are giving Better Life Index. What does this Better Life Index measure? It is started in 2011 and it measures 11 indicators. What are these 11 indicators? Health, income, education, housing, employment, social support, zero corruption, electricity, clean drinking water, sanitation. All these things are there, then life is better. Anta under 11 indicators, this OECD Better Life Index measures. So this is all about the indices. Oh, okay. We have green GDP. We have green GDP. So what is green GDP? Green Gross Domestic Product. So in normal GDP, we don't measure the what? We don't measure the pollution. We don't measure the environmental costs. Environmental costs are not measured. We don't measure the pollution. So many things we won't measure. But in green GDP, what is the formula of green GDP? Andre GDP minus environmental costs. So what is environmental cost? Andre, if you waste the water, if you pollute the air and water, if you cut the trees, right? If you poison the groundwater, all those things, environmental pollution in the how much cost we are occurring, if we subtract from the GDP, then we will get green GDP. Then we will get green GDP. So natural resources accounting and green GDP. So natural resources accounting andreno. So can we measure the sunlight in the terms of money? Can we measure clean water in the terms of money? Can we measure good air in terms of money? Right? Good oxygen. So can we measure the greenery of environment in terms of money? Right? So if all those things are measured, that is measured under national resource accounting. Resource accounting. Natural resources, sunlight, wind, water, greenery, everything is measured. That is measured under national resources accounting. Right? So if we measure, then only we can calculate the green GDP. If there is no measurement of, so ononduku cost andre sunlight, they say sunlight is valued some 10 crores, right? Clean water is valued some 50 crores. So like that, this accounting, greenery is valued some 100 crores. Atara. This will account for the natural resources. If we subtract it, then we will arrive at green GDP. If we subtract it from GDP. So, this concept is given by Partha Dasgupta. Partha Dasgupta gives the concept of National Resource Accounting. National Resource Accounting. So, we have National Biodiversity Action Plan. National Biodiversity Action Plan. So, in 2008, we have two things. 2008 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು National Biodiversity Action Plan is one. The second thing is National Action Plan on Climate Change. Very, very important. 2008 National Biodiversity Action Plan. So what is it, Andre? National Rashtriya Biodiversity Jeeva Vaividyate Action Plan. So idina protect madlikke, idina safeguard madlikke, whatever the plan we are doing, that is National Biodiversity Action Plan. Clear? So adana we give it in 2008. 2008, one more thing, National Action Plan. Action. We are going to act with respect to climate change. We get National Action Plan on Climate Change in 2008. These two things happen in 2008. And also 2010 Nagoya. So Nagoya, where is it? It is in Japan. We go there. There is a Nagoya Dalli. There is an agreement signed by India saying that we are going to measure the green GDP. Allivargu India had not committed internationally. Internationally, India used to calculate only the GDP. So in 2010, India goes to Nagoya in Japan. There all the countries would have come. India promises that from now onwards, we are going to calculate green GDP, or we will do the national resource accounting. Clear? So, green GDP actually, China after this Nagoya starts publishing the green GDP. Green GDP na publish madake China start madade. But what happens? The GDP will become very less. Green GDP will become very less because in China there is lot of pollution. Green GDP yavag less agutte when there is lot of pollution, when environment is not good. So green GDP became very less. China got embarrassed. So it stopped publishing the green GDP, right? Okay. Next we have Commission on the Measurement of Economic Performance and Social Progress. So, E commission na French government appoints. French government appoints this commission some 20 years back, and this commission, see, Commission on Measurement of Economic Performance. Arthikavagi performance. Hege the economy is performing, and social progress, samajika parivartane, badlavane. All these things are measured. This commission was constituted by French government, and under whom Joseph Stiglitz. Joseph Stiglitz is the person under whom the commission is a very famous economist. Joseph Stiglitz is a very famous economist. Okay. So now we have Purchasing Parity Index. Purchasing Parity Power. What is Purchasing Parity Power? So, how much is a coconut in India? So let us say a coconut is valued at 20 rupees in India. Coconut value in India is 20 rupees, right? 20 rupees. So the same coconut, let us say in USA, is $1. $1 USA, which is 75 rupees. Correct? USA in terms of dollar, $1, 75 rupees. So illi we will get how much coconuts? We will get approximately 4 coconuts for the same price in India, right? If we use this same thing, we will get 4 coconuts in India. So the purchasing power, you purchase something, a purchasing power, every currency, suppose this is a currency, it has a power. how much it can purchase. So the purchasing power of Indian rupee can purchase a coconut in $20, whereas the 20 rupees US dollar can purchase a coconut in $1. So which currency is more powerful here? Indian currency, because it is purchasing a coconut at just 20 rupees. Indian currency can purchase how many coconuts in $1? Some 4 coconuts. So this is more powerful. Purchasing parity. Okay, purchasing power parity. So the same price Indian currency can buy 4 coconuts. That is why Indian currency is powerful. So this is the concept of purchasing power parity. So I just gave you the example of coconut. You can take it to anything. So usually iPhone gets manufactured, Apple, right? There an iPhone Pro recent model 13 Pro cost $999. $999, right? Which is in India is approximately 75,000 rupees. Whereas if you take the same iPhone in India, it is more than 1 lakh rupees. More than 1 lakh rupees. So since iPhone is manufactured in USA, the power. So ide price ge, if you suppose you buy two or three iPhones in India, ade price you buy 2 iPhones, ade price ge you will get 3 iPhones in USA, right? 3 iPhones. So here the purchasing power of US dollar is more, because for the same money US dollar is buying more products. So atara. So this is about the purchasing power parity. Clear? Okay. So illi purchasing power parity li GDP is measured in terms of purchasing power parity, GDP. So when we measure the GDP, when I told India's GDP is worth 140 lakh crore in real terms. In real GDP is 140 lakh crore andre. So it means that we are measuring with respect to rupees, right? So if we compare the GDPs of all the countries, we will compare it with, suppose GDP of USA, let us assume, is $1,000. Right? So in India, the GDP comes to how much? So Indian rupee eshtayitu US GDP 75,000 rupees. 75,000 rupees. US GDP in Indian rupee terms, right? Whereas in the terms of purchasing power parity. So this is with respect to market exchange rate. Market exchange rate ali, similarly you can convert 140 lakh crore in dollar terms. So just divide it by 75 rupees. $1 is 75 today. Divide, you will get it in dollar terms. Clear? Market exchange rate ali. But is market exchange rate valued always? No. Because why? Purchasing power parity is different. Purchasing power parity, I already told. A currency has a different purchasing power. So now just to blind agi, we are measuring, we are converting it from one currency to another currency, and we are comparing the GDP. But if we calculate the GDP of India in PPP terms, purchasing power parity kuda GDP in calculate ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. How much Indian currency can buy actually if we compare the GDP, so GDP, all the countries, GDP, if we calculate, India's position is around 6th or 7th in the world, around 6th position, largest GDP in the world. But when we calculate the GDP in terms of PPP terms, purchasing power parity, India's GDP is what? 3rd position. So even normal GDP andre market exchange rate alli if we calculate the GDP, USA is the world's biggest economy, China is the 2nd economy in the world. But if we calculate the GDP in terms of PPP, China is the world's 1st economy, because Chinese currency in their local products it can buy more. So PPP China will become, so $25 trillion economy. China's economy is $25 trillion in PPP terms, whereas USA economy is $20 trillion in PPP terms, right? This is with respect to GDP at market exchange rate. This is not correct. GDP at PPP gives the actual value. These are the two kinds of GDP comparison for comparison purpose. Next, we have the developed, developing and least developed countries. So developed countries means it has all the facilities, health, education, industry, service sector, everything has grown properly. Then we call that as a developed country. Developing, which is moving from least developed country to developed country. Least developed inta developed ge yav country hogta ide, that is called developing. So all your developed countries, European countries, USA, Japan, all these are, Australia, Canada, all these are developed countries, already developed. There is proper industrialization, proper service sector, all facilities are there, economy is good. All these things are developed countries. India is a developing country. India, China, Russia, all these things are, these countries are developing countries. They are moving from least developed to developed country. And least developed andre, you can give the example of African countries which are not yet developed. Okay, so we have World Bank classification. World Bank classifies the developed, developing and least developed countries. How does the World Bank classify? So there is a proper criteria. It says high income countries, upper middle income countries, upper middle income, lower middle income countries and low income countries. So hege, how does it calculate andre? Per capita income. If per capita income is andre per head, what is the income that we are, that the people are getting? If it is more than $12,000, if it is more than $12,000, then that economy is a high income economy, high income country, right? Upper middle andre, if it is between $4,000 to $4,000 to $12,000 idre, then it is a upper middle economy, upper middle income country. Lower middle andre from $1,000 to $4,000, $1,000 to $4,000 idre, then it is a lower middle country. Low income country andre that which has less than $1,000 income, per capita income is less than $1,000. Is it for month or year? It is for year. It is per year. the income is less than $1,000, then it is a low income country. This is the criteria given by the World Bank. Right? Okay. So also NIC, here we have the concept of NIC. NIC andre newly industrialized countries. So that is China, right? China industrialized after 1980s, whereas USA, Europe industrialized during 18th century, 17th century or 19th century. So China newly industrialized. Japan also industrialized in the last century. India is also newly industrialized. African countries, most of the countries are newly industrialized countries, right? Okay. So next we have least developed countries. Least developed countries I spoke about here. What is the least developed country? So if the per capita income is less than $1,000, then it is a least developed country, similar to World Bank criteria. So Ali actually he says some $1,032 or something, but to make it easy, I have given proper numbers, proper round figure numbers, so that you don't get confused. So least developed country actually less than $1,000 of income, then it is least developed country. Next, human resource weakness. Human resource, what is human resource? If a person, see, I am a human resource. What resource I have? Knowledge resource, physical capacity to work, right? All these things gets contributed to human resource. When can we say a human resource is high? If there is proper education, if there is proper skill development, if there is proper health, right, proper income, then we can say human resource is good. But in least developed countries, the human resource is weak. Clear? And economic vulnerability. These countries are vulnerable to economic vulnerabilities. Andre resources illa. So minerals, agriculture, all the resources are low, right? And there is huge indebtedness. Tumba sala madirkondirtave countries, right? And also there is no forex reserve. Forex, foreign exchange iralla, right? And the banking sectors will be weak. Economic investment iralla, there is no investment, there is no trade. So all these criteria will relate to least developed countries. So this is the criteria: per capita income, human resources weakness, and economic vulnerability, right? Okay. So next we will speak about public goods. So what are public goods? So we have public goods andre your parks, those are public goods. Roads, public goods. Bridges, public goods. Lakes, tanks, keregalu, those are public goods. You can access them. Government buildings, public goods. Government services, public goods, right? So those are public goods. So those public goods, they are non-rivalrous. What do you mean by non-rivalrous? See, if I access a public park, if I go and access a public park, will it exclude some other person from accessing? No. Even some other person can also come. So it is not exclusive. Mutually, it will not. If I consume the public park, if I use the road, it will not prohibit another person from using the road. So it is public goods are non-rivalrous. Public goods are non-excludable. Andre no person can be excluded from accessing the public good. Poor, rich, upper caste, lower caste, female, male, everybody can access. Next, in the public good, we have merit, non-merit and demerit goods. Very important. Merit goods, what do you mean by merit goods? For example, PDS system, rations, those are merit goods, right? And also public parks, merit goods, because you go there, you get rejuvenated, right? Roads, they are merit goods because it will help you travel. So public transport is a merit good, right? Non-merit goods andre, so non-merit means it is not a bad connotation, but those who have money, only those people can afford. Non-merit goods, those who have money, only they can afford. So illi education, Samagra Shiksha, government education is a merit good, whereas medical education is not a non-merit good, because only those who have money can access the higher education or medical education. So it is a non-merit good. Going to public hospital, district hospital is a merit good, but going to Fortis, Apollo, all these hospital, non-merit good because it requires money. Then demerit goods. What are demerit goods? Bad goods, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs. All these things are demerit goods. These should be taxed heavily. Drugs though it is prohibited, but alcohol, cigarette, pan masala, all these things are demerit goods. Even your horse race is also a demerit good. And also your lottery is also a demerit good. Clear? Because it causes bad for the society. It is bad for the society. Okay. Next chapter we will move towards planned economic development and Niti Aayog. Planned economic development and Niti Aayog. What is planned economic development? So planned economy, what is the concept of planned economy? So does economy take place haphazardly? Like hegandrege economy agutta. So when it comes to government handling the economy, can the government handle the economy in a haphazard way? The way it wants to handle, can it handle without any restrictions? So can it say that this year I am going to produce 100 tons of rice, next year I am going to stop producing rice, right? So we will only use petroleum now, later on we will stop, or after 6 months we will again use. So it cannot be haphazard. Economy cannot be haphazard. There is to be proper plan. Planned economy, how much growth we should achieve. Economy is to grow agbeko. What are the products which needs to grow? What are the sectors where government should invest? Right? What is the goal of the economy? What targets we have to achieve? Right? And also socially. Andre, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ education ಕೊಡಬೇಕು? Right? How much products we have to manufacture in order to export? How much we have to export? All these things are properly planned beforehand, and then there is a plan. Just like how you put timetable before studying, right? You plan a timetable and you work according to it. Just like that, government also plans the economy and works according to it. Okay. Next we have command economy. Command economy, the word itself says government commands. So all sector of the economy, government has a control, right? So for example, in China In China, there used to be command economy during the time of Mao Zedong. During time of Mao Zedong, there was command economy. And all the land was owned by the government. Government used to say what you have to produce. Government used to say which job you have to do. Government used to say what is the price of the product which you are going to sell. Government used to decide what is the salary which you will get. So all these things come under command economy. Government commands the economy, right? Next we have market economy. It is the opposite of command economy, where market decides. Market forces decide. Andre, I told you yesterday class, Adam Smith, liberalism. So I can sell if I manufacture a product, I can sell it to whomever I want, at whatever price I want, wherever I want. That is market economy, no government intervention. So these are the types of economy, right? History of economic planning in India. So before looking at the history of economic planning, what are the reasons for planning? There are internal reasons, external. Jawaharlal Nehru was inspired by planning. He visits Soviet Union. He sees there. He sees the planned economic model. Every 5 years there used to be one plan. In USSR, he gets inspired. When he gets inspired, he comes back and starts the economic model in India. And also we have external reasons. External reasons, USSR itself is an external reason. Along with that, we had British rule. British rule had spoilt the Indian economy. Spoilt. So there was no proper economic growth. So because of that, we start the economic planning. Economic planning na start ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ British rule in the economy had gone into recession or depression. Economic condition was very, very bad. That is also one reason. Internal reason, if we look at, there was lot of unemployment in India. Education was less. Industries were less. There was absolutely no private sector. If we say private sector can start the economic growth, but actually there won't be any private sector at all. Private sector will be very less. Because of all these internal, external and individual reasons, the economic planning starts in India. Economic planning starts in India. These are the reasons. First plan we have in 1934, we have Visvesvaraya plan. Visvesvaraya plan in 1934. He gets inspired by New Deal of Roosevelt. What is this New Deal? Roosevelt. Who is Roosevelt? Theodore Roosevelt. American president during Great Economic Depression. Great Economic Depression aguttalla in 1929. There, Roosevelt will be the president. So, what does Roosevelt use? He uses the Keynesian model. Keynesian model andre government support. Government invests lot of money in the economy. Government invests lot of money in the economy, and I told you, when the government invests, demand increases, production increases, employment increases. There is a positive spiral. So that is the New Deal of Roosevelt. Visvesvaraya plan gets inspired by New Deal of Roosevelt, right? And also Visvesvaraya plan gives a 10-year plan. It gives a 10-year plan. What is the what has to be accomplished in 10 years? 10 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Double income. So if you are earning 100 rupees, next years you have to, 10 years you have to earn 200 rupees. We have to double the income. That is the first goal of Visvesvaraya plan. Next, government versus private ali. Visvesvaraya emphasizes on government-led industry. Government itself should start the industry. Because private sector is weak, government itself should start the industry anta Visvesvaraya ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. And also he emphasizes on poverty eradication. ಬಡತನ ನಿರ್ಮೂಲನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ Visvesvaraya says. Along with that, so his book is called The Planned Economy of India. Visvesvaraya's book is called The Planned Economy of India is the book of Visvesvaraya. So in this book, he gives all these ideas. All these ideas are given by Visvesvaraya in this book. Next, National Planning Committee. So this was started when? 1937. I told you Tripura and Haripuri session. There Subhash Chandra Bose will be the president of Congress and he appoints a National Planning Committee. National Planning Committee, who would be the chairman? Jawaharlal Nehru is the chairman. So this committee emphasizes on heavy industry. Heavy industry andre coal industry, iron and steel industry, right? Industry which manufactures the electricity, big industries, car industries, big industrial complexes. So this planning committee emphasizes on heavy industry. Andre, I am going to speak about it later on, what this National Planning Committee envisaged, because whatever is planned here, it gets reflected in the second plan. Second 5-year plan ella reflect agutte. Next, we have Bombay plan. Bombay plan planned by industrialists, Tatas, Birlas, Purushottam Das, Thakur Das. All these industrialists, big industrialists plan the Bombay plan. So in Bombay plan, they envisage state should take the leading role. Government should take the leading role and it should invest in economy. It should create the industry. It should not be, industry should not be left for the private sector itself, because industry, if we left to private sector, it won't grow because there is lot of weakness. That is why Bombay plan says state should take the leading role in industry. So it says we should focus on textile. State should focus on heavy industry, majorly textile industry and consumer industry. Textile industry ಮತ್ತೆ consumer industry ಮೇಲೆ we have to focus anta this Bombay plan says. Bombay plan says about it, right? And it also says we have to double the agricultural output. So what is the agricultural output today? It is 15% of the economy. So whatever the output that was there during the Bombay plan, so this plan says that agricultural output, if agriculture is producing 100 million tons now, it has to produce 200 million tons. Because why so much for food? Because there would be lot of food scarcity in India. Tinnadike anna iradilla aga. People will be dying of hunger, right? So because of which this plan says agricultural output should be doubled, right? And also M.N. Roy establishes the Communist Party of India in 1920. M.N. Roy is known to establish Communist Party of India in 1920, and he gives the People's Plan. People's Plan is given by M.N. Roy. What is this People's Plan? And see, it is a communist plan. So whenever communists are involved, the word people is used. So China is a communist country. They call their army as People's Republic Army. or the country as People's Republic. So whenever someone uses the word people, think that they are inspired by communist ideology. Communism ninda they are inspired anta. Next, mixed economy, 1991. So India was a mixed economy. I told India is a democratic socialist country. We follow democratic socialism anta I told. Right? Mixed economy. So democratic socialism alli there is both public sector and private sector. So even before 1991 India is a mixed economy. Even today India is a mixed economy. Right? So but what is the change? Then what change has happened? So before 1991 public sector was high, private sector was less, but it will be called as a mixed economy, right? No matter what the public sector or private sector contribution is, but it is called a mixed economy, but both are there, less or something it is there. But post 1991 ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ private sector increases, public sector decreases. Post 1991 is the year of liberalization, privatization and globalization. I am going to discuss it. So avaga private sector increases, public sector decreases, right? Next, planning goals. So planning goals andre, why should we plan? What is the need for planning? So the basic need for planning is giving justice to people. Andre economic justice, social justice. Andre everybody will have income, good income. Everybody will have employment. Everybody will get good remuneration for the work they put in. Nobody would be discriminated based on caste or gender, right? So to ensure justice is the first goal of planning. Also, the planning envisage trickle down. Trickle down andre. So first we will plan and grow the economy. First we will plan and grow the economy at some 5 or 6%. But once we grow the economy by 5 or 6%, the growth will trickle down. First what happens? In the Kuznets curve I told yesterday. So per capita income increases, right? Inequality first increases, later decreases, right? When we plan and grow the economy, initially some sectors, some people will grow. Starting early, there will be few people who will grow. Later on, when they grow, they will spend a lot in the economy. When they spend a lot, the lower section will give them service. So, illi, for example, lower section are there. Let us say they are doing some handicrafts or painting or madke or something, like pot or something. So, when the planning happens, when there is growth, few section will grow. Few section, upper section, let us say upper section will grow. When they grow, they have more money. They will spend on buying paintings, pots, and if they sell fishes or non-veg or anything, if they sell anything, meat or anything, dairy, everything will be bought by this section which has grown. When this is bought, the lower section will also get money, right? So by this model, first economy grows, upper class grows, then even the lower class grows. So growth has trickle down. Trickle down. Trickle andre ನೀರನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬೀಳುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ growth will trickle down from upper sections to lower sections. So we have to just focus on growth ಅಂತ first ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, right? But this is later repudiated. ಇದನ್ನ later challenge ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. We'll talk about that. Next, self-reliance versus self-sufficiency. So under Atmanirbhar Bharat, we say we are self-reliant. Self-reliant. What is the difference between self-sufficiency and self-reliance? Andre, self-sufficiency means we have all the resources. We have everything we want. We don't want anything from any of the world. That is why India before 1991 was called a closed economy, because then they thought they are self-sufficient. But can any country be self-sufficient? No. No country can be self-sufficient. That is why planning focuses on self-reliance. That is, depend on our own self. In what all areas? In economy, health, education, so many, in all the areas, depend on our own self. Mineral, if you take the minerals, instead of importing, start producing our own minerals, right? Agriculture, instead of importing agricultural goods, invest in our own agriculture, that will grow. So that shows self-reliance. Here, self-reliance, self-sufficiency, foreign products are not, foreign products are banned. Self-reliance, foreign products are not banned. Foreign products are welcome. Foreign products can come, foreign investment can come. But that is why Make in India. Make in India is a self-reliance concept. But investment comes from foreign. But whom it is helping? It is helping the Indians. Right? This is the concept. So planning focuses on self-reliance. Okay. Financial resources for 5-year plans. Where do we get the financial resources? Right? So first we get it from where? Taxation. Taxation is the first kind of resource. Central tax, state tax, right? And private investment. Private investment is there. Government investment is there. And also we export the goods. We export the goods. That also we will get money. Also government also used to manufacture some things, right? Your BSNL, they also give some service. So for that service, government people will pay. That will also add to the financial resources. Government gives the transport service, railways, bus transport. That will also go to the resources. So entire India's economy, whatever the government gets as resources, either tax resources or non-tax resources, are used for 5-year plans. Okay. History of planning. Okay. First plan started from 1951 to 1956. First plan 1951 to 1956. So this plan was given by K.N. Raj. K.N. Raj is the person behind this plan. So what does this plan envisage? So it focused on agriculture. First plan in India focused on agriculture. They are going to ask, what did first plan focus upon in the Indian planning process? It focused on agriculture. So next, second plan 1956 to 61. 1956 to 61. So this plan focused upon Nehru-Mahalanobis model. Nehru-Mahalanobis model. Who is this Mahalanobis? P.C. Mahalanobis, also called father of Indian statistics. So I told you, Indian CSO, Central Statistics Office, all those things were established by P.C. Mahalanobis. He is called the father of Indian statistics, right? So based on Nehru and Mahalanobis model, we form the second plan. Second plan focuses on industry. Second plan focuses on industry. First plan on agriculture, second plan on industry. What is? So it focuses on basic industry. What do you mean by basic industry? Iron and steel is a basic industry, because without iron and steel nothing can be done, right? And also apart from iron and steel, Coal industry is a basic industry, right? Textile industry is a basic industry, right? So it focused on basic goods. It focused on basic goods or consumer goods. Consumer goods. Consumer goods andre clothes, right? Landlines, clothes, landlines, and also equipments like radio, manufacturing of radios, consumer goods, andre whatever bags, electric bulbs, all those things. So it focuses on basic industry, right? And it says we have to manufacture machines which manufacture the machines. Machines which manufacture the machines, right? Suppose iron and steel industry is there. From iron and steel industry, we manufacture one automobile industry. One automobile machine na we manufacture, which manufactures the car. So this is a machine which manufactures the another machine. Machine which manufactures the machine. That is what focused in the second plan, right? And also it focused on investment. It focused on getting investment, public investment, right? And it focused on import substitution. Second plan, very, very important point. Import substitution. Andre, instead of importing any goods, we are going to manufacture it ourselves. Instead of importing any goods, we will manufacture it ourselves. Right? We won't depend on anyone. That is import substitution. Next, it focused on public sector. Public sector industry. What are public sector industry? We have BSNL is a public sector industry. Oil, andre Oil India Corporation, Bharat Petroleum, right? BHEL, BEL, ONGC, HMT. All these are public sector industries. So it focused mainly on public sector industry. Industry built in the public sector. Clear? Okay. So and also it focused on the small scale sector. Small scale sector. Apart from public sector, it's focused on small scale sector. Small scale sector which gives power, consumer goods, clothes, shoes, chappals, right? Watches. So all these things. It focused on consumer goods. And here we have the Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. So during the second plan, they give a Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. What is this Industrial Policy Resolution? Andre, it includes all these points. It includes all these points, right? So how the industry should take off? What should be the type of industry? It should be basic industry, and it should be manufacturing machines which manufactures the machines in turn, right? And it should be import substituted. It should focus on public sector. All these come under the Industrial Policy Resolution 1956. So next we have the third plan. Third plan 1961 to 1966. 1961 to 1966, this plan focused on agriculture plus industry. It focused on both agriculture and industry. Third plan. Third plan focused on both agriculture and industry. So here, during the third plan, Indo-China war happens. Indo-China war happens, 1962. And 1965, there is war with Pakistan. war with Pakistan. So here, since lot of wars and also Lal Bahadur Shastri gets killed 1966, and there will be food scarcity in India. So because of all these reasons, plan won't take place after 1966. So there will be annual plans. Muro naako annual plan ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Instead of 5-year plan, they do annual plans. So this planning 5-year ಯಾಕಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, this is inspired by Soviet Union. During the time of Lenin, there used to be this 5-year planning concept started. So inspired by that, we also started 5-year planning, right? Annual plans will be there. So next, fourth plan starts in 1969 to 1974. The aim of this plan is growth with stability. Growth with stability is the aim of the fourth plan. Fourth plan aim madadu growth with stability na. Growth agbeku, stable agu irbeku. So earlier what used to happen, there used to grow, the economy used to grow, but it used to be unstable. Sometimes it used to fall down suddenly. Sometimes there will be huge unemployment, right? Sometimes there will be huge inflation. There won't be proper what? There won't be proper stability in the economy. That is why this plan focuses on growth with stability. Clear? So here the role of Indira Gandhi is very, very important. So Indira Gandhi nationalizes the banks. Banks would be nationalized. So all your banks, public sector banks today, they were all private banks earlier. So it was Indira Gandhi who nationalized all the banks in 1969, 1970 times. Around 1969, 1970, she nationalizes all the banks. And also, she abolishes the privy purse of kings. So, when during the unification of India by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, in order to join India, the princes or the kings were given money, and that monthly money like a salary. So that money is called privy purse. So she abolishes it. Why? She is a socialist. Socialism, they don't believe in kings. They don't believe in capitalist people. Rich people alli avaru namke idalla. Okay. Next, fifth plan focuses on, it is from 1974 to 1979. However, Morarji Desai government cut short the plan in 1977. Why? Because there will be emergency. National emergency will be there, imposed by Indira Gandhi in 1975, and this plan gets cut short to 1977 alli stop agutti plan. So after that we have rolling plan. So remember the difference between annual plan and rolling plan. Annual plan, yearly plan. Rolling plan, it is also a yearly plan, but there are no fixed goals. So earlier planning alli, there used to be proper goals. If we have to manufacture 100 million tons of wheat, we have to manufacture 100 million tons of wheat. That is what the concept during the annual fixed plan. Hilli flexibility takes place. There would be flexibility. Andre, if they say India has to extract 1 million ton of coal in another 5 years or in another 1 year, since this is a yearly plan, this plan would get satisfied even when they extract just 50,000 tons. 50,000 tons na extract madru, this will be happy. So why rolling plan? Why flexibility andre? Because illi coalition government irutte. Rolling plan. Morarji Desai government, there will be coalition government which is unstable. So policies change frequently. Policies change frequently. That is why they call the rolling plan, and this rolling plan is given by Gunnar Myrdal. Gunnar Myrdal, GUNNAR MYRDAL, gives the concept of rolling plan. Next comes sixth plan. So here Indira Gandhi gets elected again. Which constituency? Chikmagalur constituency. Right? She gets elected from Chikmagalur. Right? 1980-85. Indira Gandhi gets elected. So here also in this plan, which plan? Fourth plan, she gives 20-point program. 20-point program anta poverty eradication. See, whenever Indira Gandhi comes, think she has done work towards poverty eradication. Badatana nirmulanege she has done lot of work. 20-point program anta ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Right? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ community development program anta ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ during first plan, CDP. Here 20-point program. Here she gives the call Garibi Hatao. Garibi Hatao. Right? Okay. So poverty eradication becomes the sole criteria, sole goal. Poverty na budu sameta kittogibeku anta pana todutte government. So for that it does so many programs. One of the program is Integrated Rural Development Program. Integrated Rural Development Program. What does it mean? Integrated. Integrated means everything in the rural area. It may be agriculture, it may be roads, it may be electricity, it may be food, it may be health, education. Everything should be perfect. So that is Integrated Rural Development Plan. Also she starts National Rural Employment Plan Program. National Rural Employment Program kuda start ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ Indira Gandhi. So what is National Rural andre? Manrega idiyala 2005. So it actually has a genesis in 1980-85 NREP, National Rural Employment Plan. Clear? Okay. This is sixth plan. Next, seventh plan. Seventh plan we have Rajiv Gandhi government. Rajiv Gandhi government comes into picture. So here they focus on grain development. Grain. Andre food grains. Food grains has to be manufactured a lot. Anta seventh plan from 1985 to 1990. Seventh plan they focus on grain development. Right? Apart from that, they focus on increasing the employment. Increasing the employment in the seventh plan. Right? Under Rajiv Gandhi government. And also he gives a export-import policy. See, till 1991, the economy is closed. There is no import, very less import. India thinks it is self-sufficient. But under Rajiv Gandhi, export-import starts. There is a beginning towards opening of the economy. Export-import policy given by Rajiv Gandhi. So after 1990, BOP crisis agutte. Balance of payment crisis. What is BOP crisis or balance of payment crisis? So BOP andre, see, balance of payment andre, it includes two things. One is current account, another is capital account. Right? So all your exports, imports, everything will come under current account. Export, import, remittances, andre foreigners yararu ದುಡ್ಡು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ India ge, everything will come under current account. Capital account andre foreign investment in India, loans bought by India, loans get taken by India, all these comes under capital account, right? Illi BOP crisis, so this should be balance agirbeku, andre import estirutte export ashte idre there will be balance, or export jaasti idre the country, it is good for the country, right? Illi imbalance agutte. How imbalance andre India has to mandatorily import oil. India has to mandatorily import because India doesn't have oil resources. So when that is the case, when India has to mandatorily import oil, India the forex reserve kadme ilutte. Why forex? Foreign exchange. Forex andre foreign exchange. Why forex is less? When does India gets forex? When we export something. When we export something, other countries pay us in dollars. We get the forex, which we can use to buy the oil, right? But when we don't, illi export irala India in the jasti, because it is a closed economy, there is no export, or the quality of the products will be so low that no country will buy. Because why the quality today? So the quality is so good, Indian goods are sent everywhere, but even then the amount of trade in the world for India is around 1%, just 1%. Okay, so illi we and the private sector idre the quality will be good, but till 1991 there is no private sector, there is only public sector. And the goods in public sector, you know how government servants behave in public sector. So you go to any bank, public sector bank, how you get the treatment, right? So especially during lunch hours, they don't even talk to you. They make you wait for 1 hour. That same thing, you go to private sector bank to open an account, they will come to your house. All the services will be delivered to your house. So public sector, actually it won't be good. So the products will also not be good. There will be lot of corruption, lethargy. So there won't be any exports. There is no export, there is no foreign exchange. There is no foreign exchange, India cannot buy. And when India cannot buy, this leads to BOP crisis. We need oil, but we don't have the money. And if we say we are going to buy it by Indian currency, Indian rupees inda now buy martivi andre, Indian rupee has also lost value. Indian rupee go value illa word idralli, right? So value yavag barutte when other countries try to hold Indian currency. No country wants Indian currency, Indian rupee. So then it results in BOP crisis, balance of payment crisis anta start agutte. So avaga they do a plan holiday. 2 years na we cannot do anything, no plans. So there will be plan holiday. Next, we have the 8th plan starting from 1992 to 1997. 8th plan starts. So what is 8th plan? So why 8th plan andre? I told you already, BOP crisis, balance of payment crisis, I already spoke about. And also we take a loan from IMF. So India would have taken lot of loans, right, from all around, World Bank, alli illi sikkapate sala madirtare, right? So and also internally from the private sector also, India would have bought lot of loans. Right? So in order to repay that loan, so if India doesn't repay, it will lead to sovereign debt crisis. Sovereign debt andre when a country itself not able to give back the debt, deshane sala tirsakagilla andre, that is called sovereign debt crisis. So in order to avoid that, India takes loan from IMF. How do India takes loan? So RBI will have gold reserves. RBI under its minimum reserve maintains a gold reserve. ಈ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ನ ಪ್ಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Indian gold will be pledged, and by pledging the Indian gold, we get the money from the IMF. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ twin deficit. What do you mean by twin deficit? It means fiscal deficit plus trade deficit or BOP deficit. What is fiscal deficit andre? Fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit means government deficit. See, government spends 100 rupees. Government spends 100 rupees. Or government spends 100 rupees initially, but by taxation or various resources, government gets just 97 rupees. It gets just 97 rupees. So how much there is a deficit? 3 rupees. So if you extend it to crores together, there will be fiscal deficit. Countries, government used to spend in India, but it was not able to recover the money by taxation. That is one deficit. Next deficit is trade deficit or BOP deficit. Under BOP deficit, India used to import. But to balance the import, there won't be exports from India, because only when you export, you get the foreign currency which you can use to import, right? So there won't be any export from India. Any export iralla. So BOP crisis irutte, fiscal deficit irutte, because of which we have twin deficit, double deficit, right? What is twin deficit? It is a mixture of fiscal deficit and trade deficit. Clear? So illi 8th plan alli one more thing I discussed in polity, 73rd and 74th Amendment Act. Panchayati Raj, municipality and Panchayati Raj. So that will be started, and also during this plan only World Trade Organization gets formed. World Trade Organization, 1995. World Trade Organization, first it will be in the form of GATT, General Agreement on Trade and Taxation anta irutte. So that will get converted into an organization called World Trade Organization in 1995. So what is this 8th plan? Illi just like second plan we discussed Jawaharlal Nehru Malnobis model. This 8th plan we have Rao Manmohan Singh model of growth. Rao Manmohan Singh model of growth. So who is Rao? P.V. Narasimha Rao, who is the Prime Minister, and Manmohan Singh is the Finance Minister, right? Had Manmohan Singh not been there, India would have faced financial emergency. Just because of this great person of India, Manmohan Singh, India thwarted the financial emergency, right? Okay. Rao Manmohan Singh model of growth. So what is this model andre? Reorient the state role. What is, so earlier, before 1991, government used to take part too much in the economy. Too much intervention, unnecessary intervention in the economy, right? Before 1991. So it will become a regulator, regulate ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ police ತರ. So ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು industry ಇದ್ರೆ they go there, inspectors, industry inspectors ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, they check the employees, they check whether all the rules are complied, electricity permit ಇದೆಯಾ, building permit ಇದೆಯಾ, so many permits. They harass the industry people. Instead of regulator, government becomes a facilitator. Facilitator andre it gives facility for the industry to start. Industry start aglike it is going to give facility. So government role will change from regulator to facilitator. Next, it dismantles the controls. What controls andre? Earlier there would be a policy of reservation. Reservation policy irutte. If you have some industry, some industry, they would say you have to manufacture only this much percentage of goods. If there is a, suppose let's say there is a industry on shoes, or let's say there is a industry on making telephones. So they are going to say, or TVs, you have to manufacture only this much, reservation or quotas. You cannot exceed the quota. You have to manufacture the exactly what the quota is given to you, right? That is one thing. Next, apart from quota, there will be reservation. Reservation andre certain industries only government can manufacture. Mobile phones or telephones, earlier BSNL, MTNL, only they had the mobile, telephone connection. Nobody else were allowed. So industry, mining, coal mining was not given to private sector. So like that, most of it was reserved for the government. Private actually there was no opportunity. That was changed. Permits. If you want to start a small industry, incense stick or matchbox industry, you have to take a lot of permits. From the government. That is changed. And open economy. Open economy andre private sector was allowed to invest. Earlier it was a closed economy. Closed economy, open economy, there are two things. One with respect to internal sector, another external. So open economy andre the economy was opened to, earlier it was closed to private sector. Now it is open to the private sector. And also earlier the economy was closed within the India. Later it is open to the foreign inputs, foreign exports and imports. That is one thing. Next, external liberalization. External liberalization andre ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ FDI, investment, imports of goods, import of technology, everything was allowed. External liberalization, right? Externally we liberated the economy. Earlier it was closed. So externally foreign investment barbodu, foreign technology barbodu, foreign persons can come, foreign hospitals and banks can come, right? Foreign insurance can come, everybody can come. That is liberation, right? Next, this planning is called indicative planning. Indicative planning. So earlier it was a directive planning. Directive planning andre government used to direct, command economy tara, what you have to manufacture, how much you have to manufacture, where you have to manufacture. Everything is directed by the government, right? So that was changed to indicative planning. Indicative andre government just requests you, not orders you. It requests that please manufacture these things because it is good for economy. Whatever the facility you want, I am going to give you. I am going to give you all the necessary permits. You need not even come to my office. I will come to your office. So government becomes a facilitator, right? Government becomes a facilitator. So it is indicative planning. It just indicates that we socially, social sector, educationally is to growth agbeku. You please come and do this growth. You please start these schools and colleges. That is indicative planning. Here, private sector ge, they are going to indicate what they have to do, right? Next, state becomes a facilitator. I already told what is a facilitator, right? It facilitates. This indicative planning is practiced in Japan. It is practiced in Japan, right? Next, we have ninth plan. Ninth plan from 1997 to 2002. 1997 to 2002, we follow the ninth plan. Okay. What is this ninth plan, Andre? Here, why ninth plan? During Atal Bihari Vajpayee's tenure, right? So during ninth plan, there will be East Asian crisis, tiger economy, East Asian crisis. Andre, East Asia, tiger economies, that is your Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, right? All these countries, there will be crisis. Crisis irutte a countries alli. What crisis? Ali, the economy gets overheated. Sikkhavate foreign foreign investment irutte in these economies. But what happens? Suddenly during one point time, foreign investment irutte, though the economy would be dependent on foreign income. So local investment irala. Suddenly what happens? All the foreign investment goes back. From due to maybe interest rate gets changed or policy gets changed, all the foreign investment goes back to West. There will be a crisis in these countries. There won't be money. So that is the East Asian crisis, briefly, right? So along with that, we have Kargil war agutte. During this time, there will be Kargil war, right? And also, we have, in this plan, we have Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarajgar Yojana. Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarajgar Yojana gets started in this time. And also, we have Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. And also, Golden Quadrilateral gets built. Golden Quadrilateral, that is, which connects Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. Golden Quadrilateral, right? So, this is with respect to what? Roads. Railways go ide, that is called Diamond Quadrilateral. Diamond Quadrilateral with respect to railways, right? Ninth plan, this is what happens, right? So also Indian companies for the first time gets listed in foreign stock exchanges. Foreign stock exchange, NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, alli Indian companies allivargu invest madiralla. So Indian companies get listed there. Listed andre I am going to do it under stock market. So when you list in a particular stock, Indian company, for example, our Reliance, it gets listed in NASDAQ andre. NASDAQ is a foreign stock exchange. Alli foreigners can buy Indian company shares, right? So idana American depository receipts anta heltare. I am going to discuss it in the future classes on what? On stock exchange. Next, 10th plan, 2002 to 2007. This focuses on employment increase. This focuses on poverty decrease, employment increase and poverty decrease. And also it focuses on reducing the gender gap in education. So education, gender gap, suppose 100 lakh girls, or let us say 1 lakh girls are going to school. So this aims to reduce the gender gap by 50%. 50%. If today 1 lakh girls are going to school, by 2007, that is the end of, so by 2007, at least 1,50,000 children girl students should have literacy. Gender gap should be reduced anta this plan envisages. And also here comes NREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005, and also National Rural Health Mission. National Rural Health Mission. We have National Rural Health Mission and also National Urban Health Mission. Both these things come, okay? And also 11th plan. This is all about the 10th plan. 11th plan 2007 to 2012. Right? It has a target of fast and inclusive growth. Motto andre idru goal enu? 11th plan the goal enu? The goal is faster and inclusive growth. Faster grow agbeku, inclusive. What do you mean by inclusive? All sections of the society, poor, rich, urban, rural, male, female, young, old, upper caste, lower caste, upper class, lower caste, all of them should grow. Right? That is the concept. Next, we have 12th plan, 2012 to 2017, 12th plan. The motto of this goal, this plan is faster, sustainable and inclusive growth. Faster, sustainable and inclusive growth. So 2007-12 alli 11th plan alli there will be great recession. I told you what is great recession yesterday. 2008 financial crisis agutte, but that financial crisis would not impact India. This 2008 financial crisis, great recession, would not impact India. Clear? That is great recession. And also Greece goes bankrupt. Sovereign debt crisis. I told you what is sovereign debt crisis. When a nation buys money, takes money, it is not able to repay. That is sovereign debt crisis. This happens in Greece. So faster and so illi 12th plan alli 2016 demonetization takes place. So 12th plan is the last plan. 12th plan is the last plan. After that there is no 5-year planning. Right? Okay. Okay. So achievements and failures of planning. What are the achievements and failures? So planning alli what have we achieved? First thing, let us look at the social sector. So socially we spent poverty eradication. So little bit of poverty was eradicated, right? And health sector. So garibi hatao allella sikkabatte there is focus on poverty eradication, and also the focus was on employment generation. And also under planning only we liberalize the economy. We liberalize the economy. Under liberalization we have what? Good investment into the country, good amount of exports, good exports and all those things. And universal education increased, right? Education literacy increased, life expectancy increased. Not only life expectancy, health indicators increased, IMR, MMR, infant mortality, maternal mortality increased, population increased, reduced, fertility rate reduced. So all those things, not only in that sector, economically, exports increased. I already told you, fiscal deficit reduced, right? Balance, India got foreign investment. So all those things are achievements of planning. Failures of planning. What are the failures, Andre? There was no state intervention. State governments they did not take into confidence. These planning commission did not take state government into confidence. And the planning was top down. Planning was top down. I told you, Delhi kutkond plan ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, how would it impact the rural areas, right? So top down planning is a failure. Next, despite so many poverty programs, poverty is not eradicated. Poverty is still there, right? That is one failure, right? So all these things are the failures of planning, right? Even industry did not grow in a good way, right? All these things are qualified to be called a failure of planning. Next, economic reforms. Economic reforms 1991. We are talking about the 1991 economic reforms. Liberalization, privatization, globalization. Liberalization andre freedom of the economy, private sector. Andre quota system, license raj system, everything removed. Privatization andre private companies got opportunity. Globalization andre import or foreign companies were allowed. So open market model, I discussed already open market. Closed economic opposite is the open market model. Private sector was encouraged, already told you. Global integration, because global money used to come to India. Global money used to come to India, and also global technology used to come to India. Global technology, global money, investment, right? All these things used to come to India, and export and import more than everything. India got integrated. Integrated andre India got jointed with all the countries. So there is a proper connection for India with all the countries. The global integration aito. Next, there were some fears. Fears. What are the fears? One, capital illi private sector ge kotre poverty will increase anta one fear ittu. Second, if we remove the licenses and all, there will be immorality in the industry. Immorality andre they will not come under any control anta. Next, globalization madre private companies will come, it will harm the independence of the country. Private companies will rule the country. It is just become second British rule anta. That will be one fear, right? And all these things, there will be lot of fears. And also they say capitalism. Capitalism will lead to more poverty, more inequality in the society. Only the rich will become rich. They will concentrate the wealth. Everything qualifies to be called as a fear. So here license raj irutte. So this is called license raj. License raj and inspector raj. Inspector raj andre industry inspectors ittalla, they go and torture, harass the industry people. That is inspector raj. License raj is they ask for license, everything. Even to open a matchbox company, industry, you have to take a license. Small things, right? Just to start a small pot making, madke mado on the industry madbekaru, you have to take the license, right? Disinvestment. Disinvestment andre till then government used to invest money in the government used to invest money in where? Used to invest money in the public sector undertakings. Public sector undertakings, BHEL, HAL, everything, MTNL, everything. Government used to invest the money, PSUs only, right? So, disinvestment, andre government takes its money out and gives this PSU to what? The private sector. Today, LIC. LIC IPO is being called. Andre private sector can also invest in LIC. So, government is trying to reduce. So, this reduction trend started in the 1990. Next, FRBM Act. Fiscal responsibility and budget management. Yenandre, I told you, if government invests 100 rupees and it gets back 97 rupees, that 3 rupees, what the government used to do? Government used to print the money and bridge the deficit. But that is called monetization of deficit. Monetization andre monetize, monetary andre money. Government used to print the money and show that there is no deficit. That is a bad economic model because that leads to inflation. Inflation hege? When you manufacture more and more money gets into the hands of people, whereas the goods will be less. More money demands less goods, the prices of the goods increases. So it leads to inflation. So that is the concept, FRBM. FRBM. So because to curb the monetization of deficit, right? Andre government printing the money and curb, showing that there is no deficit, they enacted the FRBM Act. Also enacted the Monetary Policy Committee 2015 alagutidu. What is this Monetary Policy Committee means? It is a committee which sets the inflation rate. Inflation iste irbeku. It should not cross 6%. It should not fall behind 4% or 2%. There is a bracket. 2 in the 6% olag matra inflation irbeku anta. There is a Monetary Policy Committee gives the recommendation. Also, banking sector. Banking sector, earlier only private, public sector banks. After economic reforms, there is even the private sector. Private banks emerge. Foreign banks come to India. Yes Bank, Citibank, right? ICICI, HDFC. All this comes to India. And also rupee convertibility. Rupee convertibility andre, see, earlier what used to happen, if foreign company comes to India, and they bring in some rupee, or they come and invest some money. So invest madadaga, they get some 100 crore rupees profit. 100 crore rupees profit, right? So this entire 100 crore, if they want to take back it to their home country, let us say America, it could not be converted into dollars, right? Not only in investment, even illi eradu tara convertibility barutte. Capital convertibility, current convertibility anta. So current convertibility li, you are going to foreign country. So there is a limit how much money you can carry with you. So not every money, if you take 1 lakh rupees, not entire 1 lakh rupee can be converted into dollars. So aa tara irutte. Avaga there will be restriction of converting of rupee into dollar, dollar into rupee. But that rupee convertibility gets relaxed. So also illi first generation reforms, second generation reforms anta barutte. Okay, we'll do till here and end the class. Okay. So first generation reforms and second generation reforms. What is first generation reforms? First generation reforms alli there is non-legislative reforms. Non-legislative reforms. What is non-legislative? Andre bank rate, reducing bank rate, doing rupee bank rate andre interest rate. How much interest bank is giving to public. Reducing rupee convertibility allow madadu. Rupee convertibility, allowing the rupee convertibility, and also reducing the cash reserve ratio. I'll discuss what this cash reserve ratio. Reducing cash reserve ratio and private sector na open madadu. Restrictions na. Disinvestment madadu. Disinvestment andre public sector undertakings na sale madadu. All these things are the first generation reforms. First generation alli law ಮೂಲಕ ಯಾವುದು reforms ಆಗಲ್ಲ. There is no law reforms but action reforms. Action reforms andre by without enacting any law, just by tweaking certain tools, the reforms take place. Whereas in second generation reforms, lawful reforms barutte based on law. What are the second generation reforms? Labor laws, FRBM Act, Monetary Policy Committee, RBI Act. Based on Act, whatever the reforms comes, that is second generation reforms in economy, right? So success. What is the success of the economic reforms? Economic reforms in the what is the success?
tax increased because of the economic reforms. The amount of tax that get collected increased. Tax got increased. Foreign exchange increased. Foreign exchange. Earlier there used to be during 1991 balance of payment crisis, India's foreign exchange $1 or $2 billion ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Foreign currency in Indian banks, Indian Reserve Bank of India. Whereas later on, forex increases to today around $700 billion. Today foreign exchange is $700 billion. So that increased. There is growth. Earlier, Hindu rate of growth anta agutte. So throughout this planning, whatever the growth that happens, that is called Hindu rate of growth. Andre 6 Kerala 3 Kiliyala. That is Hindu rate of growth. So it is around 3 to 4% growth. Andre economy ee varsha 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿಯಷ್ಟು products na manufacture ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ next year it manufactures 103 to 104 rupees of products. So this is neither too less nor too more. This is called Hindu rate of growth. Very important. So growth increases. So suddenly after reforms we touch 8 to 9% growth. And also BOP also reduces. Balance of payment also gets reduced, right? Okay. So we will end the class today. Next we will talk about the India and manufacturing sector in tomorrow's class. How India India has a relationship with the manufacturing sector, right? Okay. So if you have any doubts with respect to clarity of economic concepts, please do message in the Telegram channel VHS Education Forum. We will try to clear all your doubts and give you all possible guidance free of cost. Along with that, if you have doubts, you can type below in the comment section as well, right? Okay. Hope all these concepts you got clarity. Please make good use of these classes and take care of your health, and let us meet tomorrow. Take care. Jai Hind. Namaste.